Hey, you guys, everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So, you guys, I wanted to go live and give a full breakdown of everything that's been happening with Janelle Evans from Teen Mom and her son Jace. But she's actively live on TikTok, and I was watching her. So I was like, you know what? If she's still live, then when I go live on YT and FB, then we'll just watch. So that's what we're gonna do. She's right now. She was answering a question about like Cat's Eye, which is a music group, a girl group. But we're going to jump right in, okay? Because I don't know what she's going to say. She has talked about Jace. She has talked about Kale. So we're going to jump right in and listen.
I've been in Vegas since. Am I still friends with Tori? No.
Can you guys hear?
Well, I guess I'm gonna get off here, you guys. I gotta go get ready. But it was fun talking to you guys, and I'll get on later.
I have so much to say about this. Okay. I have so much to say about the fact that she's been going live lately. But we're going to talk about the latest. I'm going to give you guys all the updates that I know about what's going on because it has been wild, you guys. And listen, on that live, okay, I have some of it recorded. I guess we'll go live again later today. I'm going to do a body language breakdown. We're going to watch what she said because she talked about her mom selling the story. She's like, I didn't sell the story to TMZ. She's like, but you know who did? My mom. And I'm calling BS on that just from first off. Barb is, I feel like if they called Barb would be like, this is what I got to say. Barb's not going to say something and say, don't say I said that. She's going to give them a statement or she's going to say, I can't say anything at all. I'm not going to say anything at all. I 100% believe that Janelle is the one leaking the information because the information is really targeting Jace. It's really, he's the problem. He's the one that did this, X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, you have Janelle's sister who is really close with Barbara saying, no, that didn't happen. TMZ is posting articles saying X, Y, and Z. And then my source, as well as Janelle's own sister, who, like I said, has a close relationship with Barbara, says, no, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. So I think Janelle is selling the stories. She obviously needs to blame someone. So she's blaming her mother. You know what? I'm really sleepy. I've only gotten like 4 hours of sleep the past 2 nights between working and doing my schoolwork. So let me grab me a drink really quickly and then we're going to jump into all the drama because it's crazy. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I need some wings, okay? Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, like, no, you can't. The camera's got a good filter on it. I was going to say, like, my face is breaking out and, like, I got a little bit of dark circles under my eyes. I was on there for my psych account because she's blocked me from my regular account. She's blocked me from my Elle Bee account. And then I was like, yeah, she can't block me from this account. So I made sure I didn't say nothing. Okay. So let's start from jump. Okay, so I had heard over the past 8 months since Jace moved in with Barb. I think I heard on like 2 occasions Jace is doing good. He's doing good. He's doing online schooling. He is working. He's helping take care of Barb. Like he's doing good. Okay. Jace had posted a little bit here and there to his Instagram account. If you follow him on Instagram, you would see every once in a while he posted stories and he seemed to be doing rather well. So we're going to jump over to TMZ and we're just going to put in Janelle Evans really quickly. It did not work out with Jace living with his mom. Jace lived with Janelle like right before he turned 15. He lived with her for like not even a year. It was like 6 months. So the whole thing happened September 2023, I think it was. Yeah, 23. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot of in the hospital, out of the hospital, with Barbara, with Janelle, with Andrew. It's been a lot, okay? So the last time he moved back in with Barbara was about 8 months ago. And like I said, we were getting reports. Everything is fine. He is doing great. Like things are working out. He is, doing online school. He is helping Barb. He had a job. Now, yes, he is on probation, but like even his probation allegedly like stated that he was doing fine. So all things considering, he was doing okay. Jace was doing okay until Jace found out that his mom was back with David. Jace found that out online. He read it on the internet and he was like, what in the absolute hell? So I know Jace has had struggles. Jace has had struggles, but look at the environment that he grew up in. Look at the fact that he deals with abandonment issues. I mean, he definitely deals with issues. Okay, so I'm not saying that like Jace is just he's not had any issues. He definitely has, but I don't think Janelle even tries to parent him in a way that would help him. Janelle, Jace was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, which when you have a child that has that diagnosis, it is very important to be consistent. It is very important to make sure there is the least amount of chaos in their life possible. And Janelle doesn't do like no, it's chaos, it's inconsistency, it's so she's not doing anything to help. So 8 months ago, he moved back in with Barbara. And like I said, Barbara has asked that every time there was like a blow up, Barbara will be like, just let him come back and live with me. And Janelle's like, no, 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 no. Well, Janelle kind of ran out of options. She did want her friend. Allegedly, they say it's Ryan Dolph. I can believe that. Janelle wanted one of her male friends to take Jace in. And from my understanding, Jace did not want that. Jace was like, no. So he went back to Barbara's. And, you know, as much as we knew things were fine, Jace posted a picture not too long ago when, you know, the snowstorm came through and everybody got some snow. He posted pictures, you know, of him like outside all bundled up, like, you know, they made snowmen and he was outside in Barbara's yard and you know, he was doing fine allegedly up until the other day. TMZ breaks the story that Jace is in a mental hospital. This article came out March 9th. So that was Monday. And it says Jace in treatment at mental health facility after 911 call to grandma's. I did see her latest IG story. She is wearing her wedding ring. Also, David Eason is back to wearing his wedding ring as well. Janelle Evans' son Jace recently checked into a mental health hospital following a 911 call about a disturbed teen at his grandmother's home, TMZ has learned. This is on March 9th. The incident took place on February 22nd. February 22nd, Jace found out that his mom was back with David and kind of lost it. You know, he freaked out. And he went to Barbara and he's like, what the hell? You know, mom's back with David. Did you know this? Blah, 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 blah. And Barbara calls Janelle and is like, what the hell? Blah, 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 blah. You know, what is going on? Jace is very upset over this. And somebody called 911. Keep that in mind. From February 22nd to March 9th, like nobody knows about this. Nobody knows. And all of a sudden, TMZ knows what's going on. It says sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ that Jace is now receiving treatment at a mental health facility after a troubling incident last month. We're told there was a call to service at Barbara Evans' home in North Carolina on February 22nd for what authorities described as a troubled teen disturbance. According to a police report, 7 cops responded to the house. 7 cops. And I was like, that's wild, 7 cops. Let me just tell you guys though, please, when it comes to what TMZ is reporting, I don't know if this is true. I have no idea if this is true. Take it with a grain of salt because this is the first article that came out. And then I reached out to my source and they're like, nope, some of that information is not true. The Ashley Realities Roundup was like, nope, some of that information is not true. So take TMZ for what you want. A lot of people believe that Janelle's selling the story and that she's like changing things to paint Jace out as the problem. Law enforcement arrived at the scene where Jace had been living with his grandmother. Details about what sparked the call remain unclear, but sources say the situation was serious enough to prompt further action in the days that followed. We're told Jace is currently receiving professional care. It's unclear how long he will remain in treatment, but those close to the family say the priority right now is his health and stability. A rep for Janelle tells TMZ, at this time, we have no comment on the matter. We're unable to discuss this issue because it involves confidential personal matter. So that first broke, and I immediately reached out to my sources. The Ashley Realities Roundup posted, And my sources was like, yeah, like, something happened. And my source made it clear that like everybody was pissed off at Janelle. Like, can't believe Janelle did this. And I'm like, which makes me believe also that Janelle is the one that sold the story. Like, everybody's mad at Janelle. And I'm like, what is going on? Janelle's sister's mad at Janelle. Barb is not happy with Janelle. Then this story comes out. So it says Janelle Evans' son Jace allegedly pulled pew pew on grandma. And that came out the next day. Janelle Evans' son Jace was placed in a mental health facility after a frightening incident involving a pew pew and his grandmother, TMZ has learned. Sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ Janelle's mom, Barbara, told the reality star that Jace allegedly pulled out a firearm, put it to his, and threatened to unalive himself. And Barb, I don't know why I didn't say head, he put it to his head and threatened to unalive himself and Barb. We're told there were also concerns about possible substance use, with sources claiming Jace had been drinking and using drugs in the lead up to the incident. Can I just tell you guys that I did hear when Jace was living with Janelle, like they smoked together, they hung out together. It was like they were BFFs. I'm not saying I believe TMZ. I'm going to put out everything TMZ said, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I've heard. And we'll go over the Ashley's stuff as well. But I have to start with TMZ because that's where it all kind of came out. So I have to kind of say, like, hey, this is where it started. This is what's being said. This is why I think Janelle is their source. I think she is purposely feeding them misinformation to paint David a certain way. I mean, to paint Jace a certain way. Sorry. But yeah, I was told when Jace lived with Janelle, it was like there were BFFs. They hung out together. He was allowed to drink. He was allowed to smoke. They smoked together, and it was just kind of like they were friends. It wasn't like she was his mom. All right, it says we broke this story. Law enforcement responded to a February 22nd call at Barbara's North Carolina home for what authorities described as a troubled teen disturbance, with 7 officers dispatched to the residence. Jace has been living there with his grandmother. It goes on to say he's receiving treatment, la-di-da-di-da. We don't have to go over that. It says we reached out to Janelle and Barbara. So far, no word back. All right. And then this one comes out. Jasmine says, how is him wanting to unalive himself not enough for anybody to take this more seriously? How is his mental health and will to live not enough for Janelle to stay away from David after everything this poor boy is lost? And as a real mother, that really pisses me off to no degree. She's trying to make Jace sound unreasonable. Meanwhile, he's hurting so bad and no one cares. And what I was told is that there was no GUN. That scenario never happened. I was told there was no GUN. He did not pull a GUN. He did not put it to his head. That's what I was told. That's what Janelle's sister is saying, and that's what the Ashley is saying. So I don't know why TMZ is printing that. I don't know where they got that from. It would be nice if Janelle would step up and say, whoa, yeah, I don't know why TMZ said that. There was no gun. Or she, could say, no, well, because people's say it like refuting that right now. Like it is being, people's calling that into question. I mean, Janelle's sister actually is saying there was no GUN. That did not happen. The Ashley Realities Roundup is saying that did not happen. So TMZ, like, what's going on? Where are you getting this information? All right, it says Janelle Evans' mom, Barbara, worked with the police to get grandson Jace committed, which I don't understand that. Janelle Evans' mom, Barbara, called the police to have her grandson Jace committed after he pulled the pew-pew on her. If this is true, I mean, if he did pull a pew-pew, I would have actually absolutely called the cops as well. I mean, that's nothing to play with. If he did, I would have absolutely called the cops. I'm just hearing that he didn't. So this is very hard to navigate, not knowing what the truth is. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ. Barbara called law enforcement on 16-year-old Jace February 27th. We're told Barbara told Janelle she also planned on filing paperwork in court for help handling Jace. Ashley posted that she heard that it was being reported to her that Janelle wanted Jace placed somewhere more permanent, a long-term facility, and that she was hoping him being placed in a long-term facility would help David win his case. Okay, so they actually printed that like on the 9th. Okay. Before the gun story happened, the Ashley printed like, hey, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Janelle put him in there on purpose to help David win his case. Also, this Barbara called law enforcement on 16-year-old Jace February 22nd. We're told Barbara told Janelle she also planned on filing paperwork in court for help handling Jace. Like, what does that mean? Okay, Jessica, thank you. What does that mean? Like, she doesn't have custody of Jace, so I'm not sure. Like, what can she file? Wouldn't Janelle have to give her permission? Like, can she file anything with the courts to help Jace if she don't have custody? I don't know. All right, it says Janelle Evans set to visit Jace at mental health facility. Janelle Evans is preparing to visit her son, Jace, at the mental health facility where he's currently receiving treatment. But the trip hasn't yet happened. Of course, it hasn't. Sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ Janelle has not visited Jace in person since he entered the facility. He's been in the facility 17 days. He's been in that facility 17 days. And Janelle hasn't even attempted to go see him. And now she's saying she's going to when the kids get out for spring break. But if my child was in a facility, I don't care where they were, I'm going. I'm going to visit as much as I can. I couldn't imagine going 17 days and not visiting. However, he don't want to see Janelle. That's the thing. But she ain't even planning to see, so she don't even know this. She's not even aware. You know, all of a sudden she's like, hey, I'm going to go visit him. Girl, he don't want to see you. He don't want to see you. It says Janelle has not visited Jace in person since he entered the facility. However, she's planning a trip to the Carolinas for spring break with all of her children and intends to see Jace while she's there. We're told Janelle, who lives in Las Vegas, has been staying in close contact with Jace. Meanwhile, her mom, Barbara Evans, who Jace has been living with, has been visiting him regularly at the facility. Okay, so Barbara has been visiting him. Our sources say Janelle spent about a week making calls and working to help facilitate proper care for her son, whom she has custody of. We're also told she's been receiving help and support from her ex-husband, David Easton, and the two are currently on good terms. What support are you getting from him? Because we know it ain't no financial support. Y'all know Janelle sold this damn story. Janelle's my mom, Barbara sold the story. You guys think Barbara's going to say that? You guys think Barbara's going to say, yeah, Janelle's doing great. She's receiving help and support from David. They're on good terms. Ain't nobody make that statement but Janelle. Ain't nobody make that statement but Janelle. All right, we're going to jump over to the Ashley Realities Roundup. I'm just going to scan over it, what she has to say. Let's see. It's pretty much the same thing that what I've heard. Yeah, it's a hit piece, exactly. I know, right? By my bits. Okay, so when the news broke on March 9th, TMZ told us about Jace being placed in the facility. And then they actually put out a story saying that, yes, Jace had been checked into the hospital. That what happened was Jace become infuriated when he found out that Janelle was back with David. He read it online. He flipped out because Janelle did not tell him herself. He had to find out through the internet. Jace was very upset. Barbara called Janelle and told Janelle. That's when the cops were called and Jace was taken to the hospital. That is true. Now, there's a no contact order. You know, a lot of people were saying there's also a no contact order, you know, that Janelle has on David that the judge placed. But Janelle coming to North Carolina, I am going to bet money that she tries to drop the no contact order. I'm going to bet money that Janelle tries to drop the RO that she has against David. She can't do that in terms of like with Jace. So that one she can't drop that one, but I do think she'll try to drop the one that is placed on her. So the cops were called and then he was placed in the facility. From what the Ashley heard, Jace was possibly going to testify against David at his upcoming trial. I heard that he was eager to testify and that he had already talked to like the DA or the prosecutor. The Ashley source says now that Janelle is back with David, she doesn't want David to end up convicted of those crimes against Jace. Janelle asked that Jace be committed to a long-term facility. She wants Jace to be institutionalized. The source stated that Janelle recently told people that she was done with Jace and that she wanted nothing to do with him. Jace also wants nothing to do with her. I was told that as well. I was told that when Janelle allowed Jace, that when Jace released those text messages showing that his mom said F you, she put him on a plane back to Barbara's, and it was basically, I'm done with you. You go live your life. I'm gonna live my life. And since then it's pretty much kind of been that. Like, I'm done. And yeah, ever since she sent Jace to live with Barbara, Janelle's been kind of living her best life. And even after everything transpired at Barbara's house on the 22nd, Janelle has continued to live her best life. The Ashley says, during all this time, Janelle is portraying that she's given Jace his privacy, but acting like she's still involved in his life. But in reality, she put him in the hospital and doesn't want him speaking out. He had every right to get upset with his mom over the fact that she reconciled with the man that she promised Jace and the other kids she would never go back to. While Jace was in the hospital, she was out with David in Vegas, going out to eat, having him take her OF photos, and enjoying life. While the child that she gave her fame and everything is suffering. What? While the child that she gave up is suffering. Jace is furious, and rightfully so. Okay, so after this bit of information came out that Jace blew up after he found out that Janelle called the cops, Janelle had him placed, Janelle is trying to make sure David does not face consequences. Janelle's sister Ashley, she made a few posts speaking out. Actually, Janelle canceled his medical insurance last year, abandoned him, refused to do medical treatment for him while he was living with my mom. Other family has medical insurance for him because Janelle refuses to step up and be a mom. She abandoned him. Such a shame. FYI, the person who sold the story to TMZ has given inaccurate information. The person that my sister tried to send my nephew to live with, that happened months ago. It did not happen recently. That man was buying rugs at my mother's house for my sister when my mom had her stroke. And then Ashley said, this is what Janelle does. She was mad when my mother had her stroke. She sat in my mother's driveway for a couple of hours because my nephew Jace did not want to go with her. So what did she do? She sold the story to TMZ, blast me on the internet at a jealousy with RD. It's what she does when she's mad. I'm not sure what RD means. Ashley also said this. There was no pew-pew found in my mother's house. That is a lie. And then Ashley says, oh, I know. Janelle's sister said, I'm at the point right now where I don't give two F's. I'm sick and tired of my sister selling stories with her low-life friends for cash, making lies about my family, especially the children drama. Everyone's so tired of her. She needs a real reality check. There's no arguing with an evil POS sister. I just thought I'd get my point across before the internet talks badly about my nephew. It really affects him emotionally, and it's not fair to him. If he speaks out, my sister will retaliate like always. This is what she does. So what's funny though is not funny, but Janelle said on her live earlier, she said, I'm not going to talk about Jace. Like, that's his business. If he decides he wants to talk, then that's on him. But I guarantee you she would not allow that to happen. I guarantee you if Jace come out of that facility and put a video on IG saying like, hey guys, I'm ready to tell my story about why I ended up in the facility, Janelle would try to shut that down so fast. She would try to shut that down so fast. Okay, so a new report by TMZ claims that Janelle Evans' teen son Jace put a pew-pew on himself and his grandmother Barbara last month after finding out that his mother had reconciled with her ex, David Easton, and that's what prompted Janelle to send him to the mental health facility. But according to the Ashley sources, according to what I'm being told, according to Janelle Evans' sister, that's not exactly what happened. TMZ posted 2 stories on Tuesday, sold to them by someone. In the first story, the site claims that Jace pulled out a firearm, put it to his. So this is what they pulled this story. They pulled this story. I think this is one that they pulled. It said that he pulled out a firearm, put it to his, and threatened to unalive himself and Barbara. The site also claimed that Jace had been drinking and doing rugs leading up to the incident. TMZ claimed that Barbara was the one begging to get Jace committed to a mental health facility. But the Ashley sources tell us there is little truth in these claims, and Janelle's sister Ashley also publicly disputed those stories on X. Wait, I'm confused. Wasn't a mental health facility too expensive last time? But when it might benefit David, but when it might benefit David's court case, it's not anymore. Or did law enforcement place him there on their dime? I don't know how that works. So yeah, Janelle's sister Ashley says my nephew did not pull out a firearm on his grandmother or himself. That is a lie. None of that is true. Whoever keeps fabricating these lies is a sick person. The police also never found a GUN in my mother's home. That is a straight up lie. It's most likely my sister's telling the stories because she's angry. She is losing control. The Ashley sources tell her that Jace did not threaten Barb with a GUN, but he was angry and he did damage something in the house. The cops searched Barb's house, found no GUN. Also, TMZ saying that Barbara was trying to get Jace committed. The Ashley sources say that is untrue, and it's quite the opposite. That Barbara was not wanting Jace to be committed. Janelle still has custody and continues to try to manipulate the situation, despite being all the way in Vegas. She's trying everything she can to get her way. So that's like kind of the Ashley's rundown. You guys, of course, can go check it out for yourself and read the full articles because I'm not going to read the full articles on here. Dre says, listen, I've been watching since he was born. This is personal. And Janelle says, you're an effing stranger. Don't get it twisted, girl. Janelle's getting ate up in her own comments, though. Yeah, he has insurance again. He is covered on insurance now. The fact that you don't see your actions as the reason for his issues is astonishing. You thought it was bad being stuck with David in Tennessee. Now you're stuck with David in Vegas. Exactly. You are basically a stranger to Jace too, since you've never been there for him. Oh, look at John. You are an amazing. Don't listen to the negative people on social media. Keep smiling. This just shows you're deep in the comments, hopefully crying. It's Barb's fault. It's Jace's dad's fault. It's UBT's fault. It's Kinley's fault. It's my sister's fault. You blame everyone but yourself. Who the F birthed this child? You. You are responsible. You effing walking up. Whoa. That was harsh. You're telling stories about Jay to take the heat off you and David getting back together and then get mad when people are too involved in your life. Stupid BITCH. All right. The Ashley has obtained the 911 call. Let's go over here. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I'll go over it really quickly. Okay, it says Janelle Evans' mother, Barbara, made to the police asking for help after her grandson, Jace, erupted in anger after finding out Janelle was back with David. Come talk to her. She says, my grandson is on probation and destroying my house. Barb then mentions that Jace threatened to flank himself. However, as the Ashley reported, no GUN was found on Barb's property when the police came out and searched. The Ashley said that's not what happened when TMZ printed the article about the GUN. My source also was like, no, that's not what happened. There was no gun pulled. There was no, I think I was even told there was no, like, the whole gun thing never happened. On Tuesday, Ashley, who is Janelle's sister, denied that Jace threatened Barb. The command logs notes also obtained by the Ashley do not make any mentions of Jace threatening Barb. Okay, so Barb requested that the officers come out and talk to her, and she wanted them to stay outside. It also says that the command log said that the officers do not need to use caution, which indicates that they did not believe Jace had a gun. They were there for about 15 minutes before Jace was taken to the hospital and then a mental health facility. On Wednesday, someone who was being paid a pretty penny for each story sold to Jace sold another story to TMZ stating that Janelle is planning to visit Jace at the hospital. Okay, yes. So I just went over my messages again, and it says there was no gun. The situation did get, like, Jace did get very upset, but there was no GUN. So I don't know if he just made the comment. Maybe, like, when he found out, he freaked out, obviously damaged some things in the house, and then made the comment. And that's when Barb called and was like, I need the police over here for some help. Like, Don't come inside. Come out, like, I'll come outside and talk to you because I need to figure out what do I need to do. Is this to a point to where maybe he needs to go get help? Like, how do I handle the fact that my grandson is threatening this? And in that case, listen, I don't blame Barbara for calling the cops. I'll say that all day, every day. So yeah, TMZ said that Janelle was staying in close contact with Jace. The Ashley sources says that's not true. The Jace has refused to speak to Janelle while being in the facility. Barbara Evans has been visiting him regularly. That is true. Barbara has visited him at the facility. Janelle's been receiving help and support from her ex-husband David Eason. The two are currently on good terms, according to TMZ. Yeah, Jace hates David. He is obviously furious about his mom getting back with David. He still has those charges. Janelle does not want Jace to testify. When Jace found out, he flipped out. Jace doesn't want Janelle around. Ashley said, my nephew wants nothing to do with my sister. We've already read all that. So, yeah, there is a 911 call. It seems that it was Barbara, and I do fully support Barbara calling the cops if Jace was threatening to harm himself. This is 100% Janelle, because this is literally, Jace seemed to be doing good. The 911 call isn't in the article, but she does like kind of go over some of the stuff that's said. And yeah, so Barbara was the one that called. Barbara told the cops. So he posted this. Oh, and look who loved it. Janelle, none other than Janelle. But here he is wearing his wedding band. And look, where's he at? Like Rock Canyon Creek or whatever. That's where Janelle did her OF pictures. Red Rock Canyon National Park. I thought I sent a picture too of her wearing her wing ring. All right, so it's kind of hard to see. Y'all guys, but no, it's not that hard to see. I mean, what's going to happen when she starts thinking about the fact that, David Eason, was trying to get back with his ex-wife when they were together? What's going to happen? I don't know. The first time they get into an argument. Can't wait for their second wedding photo shoot in the Vegas desert. You guys think they're going to have a huge ceremony or a courthouse wedding for the next? I think they're going to go to a little wedding chapel in Vegas, and it's just going to be like over the weekend. And we're going to find out from the media finding the marriage license, and they're not going to tell anybody. She'll vlog it, and once the media finds out, then after that, she'll do like a whole documentary on how me and David found love again. She's going to blog, she's going to record everything, not share it at the time because she's got to wait for the media to find out. But once the media finds out, then she'll be like, here's me and David falling back in love. Yeah, huge ceremony. Who will they invite? Also on her live today, she was like, somebody was asking about the podcast, and she was like, oh, it's going to come out, and there's going to be so much. When it comes out, there's going to be so much because so many people have been on it. Like, it's just going to be so interesting. And I'm like, who the hell has been on your podcast? Anybody that will go to Janelle Evans' podcast, like, you're questionable. Which I say that, but I'm like, I would go on it, but to question her. I would go on it not to support her, but to be like, you blame your mom, and you say you got all this trauma from your mom, but your mom actually tried to be a good mom to you, yet you absolutely did not try to be a good mom to Jace. Like, do you think Jace doesn't feel the same way about you? So I would go on it to question her. And like, I'm not going to go on it to be like, just hang out and chit chat like I did with, I guess, like Kale, I guess you could say. Which I question Kale about things too, but I don't like have an issue with Kale. Like her, I take issue with her. Okay, you guys. So that's the update that we have now. You have it. I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you follow me over on TikTok because sometimes I do these lives over there and then I try to put them up over here. However, my last live on TikTok, I couldn't put up over here because I couldn't get it downloaded. I don't know why. So I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like this video, hype it up, and do a more sensual. I thought about it for a second. Maybe next time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.